You know that moment when you open your closet and feel like it is going to swallow you alive? Yeah, I have lived through that, and the creature staring back at me was not a monster. It was my own shoes, shoes I did not even remember owning, stacked like a badly planned game of Tetris, some still with their price tags attached. Now, here is something that will open your mind. Did you know that the Japanese flag is one of the most perfect examples of minimalism? A red circle on a white background, nothing more. And the entire country has been living this philosophy for centuries. While they breathe lightness, we are here suffocating with closets that will not close, drawers that explode, and living rooms that look like poorly disguised storage units from a dollar store. The truth hurts, but it needs to be said. We keep, on average, 30% more objects in our homes than we actually need. 30%. This means almost 1/3 of your house is occupied by things that serve absolutely no purpose other than collecting dust, guilt, and that feeling of one day I will organize this. Spoiler alert, that day never comes on its own. And you know what is worse? This excess is not just stealing your physical space, it is stealing your mental peace. Studies from Princeton University show that visual clutter reduces concentration capacity and increases stress. Yes, your messy house is literally sabotaging your brain. While you try to relax on the couch, your nervous system is processing every object out of place as a pending task. Hit that subscribe button now, turn on notifications, and leave a generous like, because whoever watches this video until the end will be ahead of friends who still live in domestic chaos. I am sharing the 15 rules that separate women who live in serene homes from those who live in battlefields disguised as homes. And believe me, these rules come from the best organization and minimalism experts in the world, people who have dedicated their lives to understanding how physical space affects our quality of life. My name is here to tell you how I went from a house that looked like a post-apocalyptic movie set to a home that breathes. A home where every object has a purpose, every space has a function, and every morning starts without that suffocating feeling. It was not magic, it was method, it was persistence, and it was the decision to stop accumulating problems disguised as objects. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and get ready, because we need a few minutes of serious conversation about what you are doing with your house and, consequently, with your life. Because at the end of the day, an organized home is not about magazine aesthetics. It is about living better every single day. Rule number 1. If it has no function, it does not come in. The German architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe coined the phrase that became the motto of minimalism: less is more. He was not talking about poverty or deprivation. He was talking about clarity, about purpose, about liberation. Every piece of furniture in your home must have a reason to exist. A real reason. Not some flimsy excuse like, oh, but it looked pretty there. That sideboard that just collects junk mail? It has no function. That side table that became a storage dump for remote controls and 6-month-old magazines? Neither does that. The first golden rule of minimalism is brutal and liberating at the same time. If it serves no purpose, it does not stay. I met a woman who had 7 side tables scattered around her house. 7. When I asked why, she said she thought they looked nice, but none of them were actually serving any purpose. They were just surfaces for accumulating random objects. We removed 6. 1 remained, with a lamp and a book. The rest of the space became air. Literally. And you know what happened? Her living room tripled in size visually. The same square footage, but breathing. And her? She tripled in mood. Because there is nothing more liberating than free space, inside the house and inside the head. Clutter is not a lifestyle. It is a lack of standards. Rule number 2. 1 in, 1 out. This rule is pure gold. Research on organization shows that the best way to avoid accumulation is to create physical limits. For every new item that enters your home, an old item must leave. Bought a new blouse, donate an old one. Got a book as a gift, donate another. Acquired 1 more appliance, discard the one that has been sitting in the cupboard for years. It seems radical, but it is the only way to prevent your house from becoming a storage unit again. The KonMari movement, created by Marie Kondo, reinforces this principle. But I will tell you a secret. This rule also curbs impulsive consumption. When you know you will have to get rid of something, you think twice before buying. Suddenly, that unmissable sale is not so unmissable anymore. I discovered this the hard way. I came back from a clearance sale with 5 new blouses and realized I would have to donate 5. I looked at the bags and thought, do I really need 5 almost identical blouses? The answer was no. I returned 3. I saved money and mental space. Luxury lives in the space between things. Rule number 3. Organize by category, not by room. You know why you can never truly organize your house? Because you are doing it wrong. Most people tidy up one room at a time. Today the bedroom, tomorrow the living room, then the kitchen. The problem is that your clothes are not just in the bedroom. Your books are not just on the shelf. Your papers are scattered everywhere. Marie Kondo revolutionized organization by proposing that you gather all items of the same category in one place. Take all the clothes from all the closets, drawers, and corners of the house. Make a pile. Only then will you see the real size of the problem. When I did this for the first time, I almost had a panic attack. The pile of clothes was so high it looked like Mount Everest made of fabric. I had 15 pairs of jeans. 15. I wore 3. The other 12 were there, taking up space, generating guilt, waiting for a body that would never return or an occasion that would never arrive. And then, category by category, you decide what stays and what goes. This approach, proven by professional organizers around the world, is the only one that works long-term, because you finally have a complete view of what you own. Rule number 4, keep only what brings you joy. This is Marie Kondo's most famous rule, and honestly, it is brilliant. Pick up each object in your hands and ask a simple question. Does this make me happy? If the answer is yes, it stays. If it is no, or a lukewarm maybe, thank it for its service and let it go. It sounds silly, but it works, because most of the things we keep serve no purpose other than taking up space and generating guilt. That dress you bought at a steep price but never wore? Guilt. Those books you received as gifts but never read? Guilt. Those horrible presents you did not have the courage to donate? Guilt multiplied. Minimalism is not about having less. It is about having only what truly matters to you. And that, my dear, is liberating. Did you know that the human brain feels visual pleasure with symmetry and clean surfaces? It is science, not nonsense. When you look at an organized environment, your brain releases dopamine, literally. Those who care for their home care for their soul. Rule number 5, invest in quality, not quantity. Chic is not having 20 coats. Chic is having 3 impeccable coats that work for all occasions. This is the philosophy of minimalism applied to consumption. Buy less, but buy better. A quality sofa that will last 15 years is worth much more than 3 cheap sofas that you will have to replace every 5 years. Design studies show that superior quality furniture and objects not only last longer, but also bring more long-term satisfaction. That feeling of having something good, well-made, that will not break in the first week is incomparable. And here's the irony. In the end, you spend less, because you stopped throwing money at junk that does not last. I swore I needed more shelves. I discovered I needed less stuff. The difference is subtle and expensive. Minimalist homes have something in common. When you enter, you feel that every object has a story, not a clearance price tag. It is the kind of house that does not need to prove anything to anyone, but everyone comments on it when they leave. Rule number 6, everything in its place. Every place with its thing. My grandmother repeated this phrase like a mantra, and it took me decades to understand the wisdom behind it. In minimalism, every object must have a fixed home, not a temporary corner, a permanent home. Keys always on the same hook, glasses always in the same drawer, shoes always in the same closet. When everything has its place, you never waste time looking. And more importantly, you know immediately when something is out of place. Clutter does not have a chance to settle in, because the organization pattern is established. Professional organizers recommend labeling storage spaces, so the whole family knows where each category of items should go. It may seem excessive, but it works wonderfully well, especially if you have kids or share the house with people who think more or less in the right place is good enough. The Scandinavian designer Alvar Aalto said that empty space is as important as full space, and that is why Nordic homes seem so serene. They understand that organization is not about filling every corner, but about giving each object its proper place and respecting the emptiness around it. Rule number 7, free surfaces are happy surfaces. Want to know the secret of homes that appear in architecture magazines? Empty countertops, clean tables, shelves with room to breathe. Minimalism preaches that horizontal surfaces should be, at most, 30% occupied. The rest is empty space. And empty space is not waste. It is luxury. Think about it this way. The more objects on a table, the more work to clean, the more dust to accumulate, the more visual decisions for the brain to process. A clean kitchen counter, with only 3 essential items, is much more beautiful and functional than one cluttered with jars, papers, and utensils. Try leaving your coffee table with just one decorative object. You will feel calmer just looking at it. I did this test in my living room. I removed everything from the coffee table except a vase with fresh flowers. You know what happened? Every time I looked at it, I sighed with relief. I did not have 1,000 visual decisions to process. Just beauty, just peace. Rule number 8, Store vertically, not horizontally. You know those piles of clothes you make in drawers? Bad idea. When you stack, you can only see the piece on top. The others get forgotten at the bottom, wrinkled and never used. The KonMari method teaches you to fold clothes into rectangles and organize them standing up, side by side, like books on a shelf. The result? You see all your pieces at once. Choosing clothes in the morning becomes a pleasure, not a war. And you know what is even better? Much more clothing fits in the drawer. Much more. Organizers confirm that vertical storage increases a drawer's capacity by up to 40%. You gain space without buying new furniture. It is almost magic. When I learned this technique, I looked at my drawers and thought, where was this information 10 years ago? I reorganized everything in one afternoon and suddenly had space to spare. Space I swore did not exist before. Rule number 9. Use transparent containers. This rule changed my life in the kitchen and the closet. When you store things in opaque boxes, you lose control. You do not know what you have. You do not know what is running out. You end up buying duplicates and wasting food. Transparent containers solve this instantly. In the pantry, you see exactly how much rice you have, how much flour is left, which cereals are running out. In the clothes closet, transparent boxes show which accessories you own without having to open everything. Interior designers recommend glass or clear acrylic containers to organize everything from food to office supplies. Transparency is your ally in the fight against waste and disorganization. I went shopping for organizers and came back with a suitcase full of new junk. In other words, I organized my money to disappear. I learned the hard way. First you discard, then you organize. In that order. Rule number 10. Let go of sentimental items last. This is one of Marie Kondo's most important pieces of advice, and it is ignored by many people. When you start organizing your home, do not start with photos, letters, and mementos. Start with the easy stuff. Clothes, books, papers, kitchen utensils. Items that do not carry emotional weight. Why? Because letting go of sentimental objects is difficult and drains your energy. If you start with them, you will freeze right at the beginning and abandon the process. Leave the memories for last. When you get to them, you will have practiced letting go so much that it will be much easier to decide what is truly worth keeping. And here is a truth. You do not need the object to keep the memory. Take a picture if necessary and let the object go. I had a box full of movie tickets, travel stubs, and concert tickets. I photographed everything, made a beautiful digital album, and donated the box. Guess what? I still have the memories. Except now they do not take up physical space in my house. Rule number 11. Avoid unnecessary storage organizers. You know those stores specializing in organization, full of little boxes, dividers, containers, and gadgets? Be careful. They are beautiful, but they can be a trap. Because deep down, you do not need more things to store things. You need fewer things, period. Minimalism recommends using what you already have. Shoe boxes become drawer organizers. Glass jars become containers for groceries. Before you go out buying 1,000 organizing products, do the purge. Discard the excess. Then, if you need one item or another to make things easier, you buy it. But most of the time, you will not need it. Professional organizers warn, buying organization products before discarding is putting the cart before the horse. I made this mistake. I bought beautiful dividers, coordinated boxes, personalized labels. When I went to use them, I realized I did not need half, because after discarding the excess, I had space to spare. Rule number 12. Create a daily maintenance routine of 15 minutes. Here is the secret that separates organized women from chaotic women. Routine. There is no point in doing that giant weekend cleaning if during the week the house becomes a battlefield. Minimalism works with daily maintenance. 15 minutes a day. That is all you need. 15 minutes in the morning to leave the kitchen impeccable before you leave. 15 minutes at night to put everything back in its place. It seems like little, but over the week, you will have invested 1 hour and 45 minutes in maintaining the standard. And you know what is best? 15 minutes does not hurt. It does not tire you. It does not generate mental resistance. It becomes an automatic habit. I set a timer on my phone. When it goes off, I know my 15 minutes are up and the house is in order. It is so quick, there is not even time to complain. Rule number 13. Adopt the 2-minute rule. This rule comes from productivity studies and is pure gold for home organization. If something takes less than 2 minutes to do it immediately. Wash that coffee cup. Hang up the coat. Put away the shoes. Throw the paper in the trash. Each of these actions takes seconds. But when you postpone them, they accumulate and create that chaos that seems impossible to solve. The 2-minute rule eliminates 90% of daily mess. Because most of the things we put off are tiny tasks. If you do it right away, they disappear. and your home stays in order without apparent effort. Organization experts consider this one of the most effective techniques for keeping the house tidy without spending energy. It is simple, it is fast, and it works. Tested and approved by me. Rule number 14. Prefer neutral colors and natural elements. Minimalism in interior design has scientific foundations. Neutral colors like white, beige, gray, and earthy tones create a sense of spaciousness and calm. Design studies show that monochromatic environments reduce visual stress and facilitate concentration. This does not mean your house needs to be boring. It means the base palette should be neutral, with 1 or 2 touches of color to add personality. A beige sofa with green cushions, a white wall with a colorful painting. The neutral base allows you to change the decor easily without having to renovate everything. And natural materials like wood, stone, linen, and leather bring that touch of discreet elegance that is the hallmark of true luxury. Homes like this do not shout, they whisper, and everyone stops to listen. When I painted my living room a soft gray and replaced the colorful furniture with natural wood, the transformation was impressive. It felt like the house had grown. Rule number 15. Give up perfection, but not consistency. The last rule is perhaps the most important of all. You do not need to be perfect. Your house does not need to look like a magazine photo every day. What you need is to be consistent. Follow the rules most of the time. Maintain the standard even when you are tired. Minimalism is not about perfection. It is about intention. It is about consciously choosing to have fewer things to have more life. And that, my dear, is a decision you make every day. Sometimes you will leave dishes in the sink. Sometimes you will forget clothes on the chair. That is okay. What matters is that these exceptions do not become the rule. What matters is that you return to the standard the next day. Research on habit change shows that consistency is worth more than intensity. It is better to organize 15 minutes a day for an entire month than to do an 8-hour cleaning and abandon everything the next week. Minimalism is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint, and you will get there, one drawer at a time, the ending you deserve. These are the 15 golden rules that will transform your home into a space that breathes. A space that reflects who you truly are, not the chaos you accumulate. And you know why this matters? Because an organized home is not just about aesthetics. It is about having control of your life. It is about waking up without that suffocating feeling. It is about receiving visitors without panic. It is about finding your keys when you need to leave. It is about living better. Women who apply these rules are not just ahead of their messy friends. They are on another level of life. They work less at home and enjoy more. They spend less on useless things and invest in experiences. They have smaller but more beautiful homes. And best of all, they sleep in peace because they know that tomorrow they will wake up in an environment that embraces them, not one that suffocates them. So the next time you look at your home and feel the weight of chaos, breathe. Remember, every drawer you organize is a part of your life you put in order. And when the house breathes, you breathe too. Minimalism is not about giving up. It is about making space for what truly matters. Now tell me, which of these rules do you most need to apply in your home? Write in the comments, less is more, if you are ready for this transformation. See you in the next video, where we will talk about how to keep your house clean spending only 20 minutes a day. Yes, it is possible, and I will show you exactly how. Until then, take it easy, take it clearly, and remember, your home is the mirror of your soul. Treat it with the care you deserve. Did you enjoy this video? If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to the Minimalist Home channel, leave a like, and hit the notification bell. By doing this, you will be helping other people, just like you, receive valuable information like this.